what was happening was this. Representative Karen Camper, who's from Shelby County, from Memphis, she had got it into the budget for Memphis to receive $250,000 to plan for their bicentennial celebrations, because Memphis is 200 years old. What's up, Valencia? Thanks for joining us. So Memphis will be 200 years old, right? And so there was 250. Hey, Tamika, what's happening? There were $250,000 that was put into the budget for Memphis to start planning for this celebration. Just like last year, we put money into the budget for the MLK 50 celebration. So we sent money to the city of Memphis from the state to help with the MLK celebration. What's up, Claude? Thanks for joining. And so remember, $250,000 put in there, right? Well, there were two legislators, Representative Matthew Hill and Representative Steve McDaniel, who decided that they wanted to take that $250,000 out of the budget so that they can punish Memphis for getting rid of the Nathan Bedford Forrest statues and the other statues. So that sets it up. What's up, Justin? What's up, Asadula? What's up, cousin? Reginald Milton, thank you for watching. And just so you know, even outside of that, man, we've been fighting legislation. And some of y'all seen the videos from earlier with Representative Don White, who had ran some legislation to make folks like Reginald Milton and folks on the city council felons if they push the button to vote to remove Confederate statues from our grounds. And so, and when after y'all watch the video, we're gonna talk about these Confederate statues too. So I'm taking some notes so I can remember some of the stuff that I want to talk to y'all about. So yeah, so that happened, right? And so when that happened, we started discussing it on the House floor about them taking the $250,000 out, trying to punish Memphis, for removing those Confederate statues. And now y'all know how I feel about those Confederate statues. You know what they can do with them Confederate statues. But I'm gonna pause right there for a second, and I'm gonna show y'all the video from the beginning, all right? And then you're gonna see a couple of people talk. You're gonna see myself. You're gonna see Representative Agberry, Ramesh Agberry. She's gonna talk. And hey, what's up, Patricia? And I'm gonna talk, and some others are gonna talk. And when I talk, you're gonna see me getting booed up. So y'all stand by 1 second. Here we go. Let me move this over real quick, all right? Let me turn this camera around so see if we can get a good shot here. All right, let me see. Let me see if I can move that up a little bit. Hold on, y'all. Let me get a little closer so y'all can see it. Y'all can get it up close and personal. All right, y'all. So this is a shot from the House floor, and I'm gonna try to turn it up so y'all can hear it as loud as possible, all right? So, and y'all send me the thumbs up if you can hear it and see it okay. I wonder if I can make that full screen. Let me see if I can make that full. Okay, it's full. There we go. Let me back up. Could you get the whole thing this way? All right. Almost there, y'all. Hey, Daphne, what's happening? Yolanda, what's going on? Okay, now I'm about to hit this play button, y'all. All right. So y'all watch this now. Pay attention. Keisha, what's happening, babe?
Representative McDaniel, your name was called.
Can y'all hear that? If y'all can hear that, hit the thumbs up. Hit the thumbs up or send me some hearts or something.
Madam Speaker, what this amendment does, it removes $250,000 from the budget that is designated to go to the city of Memphis for their bicentennial celebration. If you recall, back in December, Memphis did something that removed historical markers in the city. It was the city of Memphis that did this, and it was full knowing that it was not the will of the legislature for them not to follow the process that this body put into place. So this amendment would prevent the city of Memphis from having $250,000 to plan a process.
Representative Hill has moved the adoption of amendment number 5, properly second. Discussion on the amendment. Representative Camper.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker and members, not only will Memphis celebrate its 200th year, but so will Shelby County. And I worked very hard and diligently with the leadership of this House, asking them, what do I need to do? I was told, get Memphis to put money in the budget, get Shelby County to put money in the budget, and the state will put money in the budget for this celebration. Now, we put money in the budget for many of celebrations. Right here in Davidson County, we put money in the budget for Centennial Mall. I think it's not appropriate to take this money out of the budget after we've worked hard, after we've done everything that was asked of us. I understand he has a point of view, but I think this is not appropriate for us to do. And with that, Madam Speaker, I would like to move this amendment to the table.
Proper motion, properly seconded. The parliamentary situation is that Representative Hill has moved the adoption of amendment number 5. Representative Camper has moved that motion to table. That cuts off all debate except for that of the sponsor. Representative Camper, you are recognized. Oh, excuse me, Representative Hill, you're recognized.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And this amendment has been filed, and I'd like to just let everyone know that there are many cities and counties and towns across this great state that have celebrations. I represent part of Johnson City. They are getting ready to celebrate their 150th anniversary, and there is nothing in the budget for their planning. There is nothing in the budget for their celebration. There's nothing in the budget there, but they are still going forward with their planning. They're still going to go forward with their big celebration, and I think that that is outstanding. You can continue to have your celebration. You can continue to have your planning without any expenditure of state tax dollars. So I would appreciate you voting against the tabling motion. Thank you.
Parliamentary situation is that Representative Hill has moved the adoption of amendment number 5. Representative Camper has moved that motion to the table. We're voting on the tabling motion. All those in favor vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed vote no. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change their vote? Mr. Clerk, take the vote.
Ayes 27, 67 nays.
The noes have it, the tabling motion fails. We're back on Representative Hill's motion to adopt. Representative Hill, further discussion? Representative Ackberry.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today I was fortunate to pass my very last bill on this House floor. I think we all generally work together. I am blessed to represent people from Memphis who are hardworking people. They are trying to go from surviving to thriving. This legislation and this amendment and the explanation is hateful. It is unkind. It is unchristian-like, and it is unfair. Okay? Memphis is a city in this state, and I am sick of people in this House acting like it's not. Okay? We have a population of people that work hard just like everybody else. And if you all want to be petty, you have a member who did what she was supposed to do, and I rarely get angry, but I'm very upset about this move right here. And I know y'all are going to vote no or yes or whatever y'all are going to do. It's going to light up and be partisan like it always is. But you need to think about what you're doing and the message that you're sending to the people of Memphis and Shelby County. It's not right. And you know it's not right. Deep down, you know it's not right. There are people across that county that had nothing to do with those monuments, had nothing to do with the actions of a city council, and you're going to punish them. And if you think that's okay, which I'm sure many of you do, and if you wanted money in the budget for your state or your part of the state's celebration, you could have done that. This member did what she was supposed to do. It was put in the budget. She worked hard with both officials. I think it's very ugly what y'all are about to do. I think it sends an ugly and mean-spirited message to people who, if you look at sales taxes collected across this state, Memphis gives a significant portion of that to the state. I have sat in committee and heard a member of this body say, why do we always have to pass bills to help Memphis to deal with Memphis' school system? I know some of you all would be happy if we gave the doggone part of the state to Arkansas. Arkansas would gladly take us. But I'll tell you something. I don't support this, and I think if you do it, you're being ugly. It's not fair. Memphis is a part of Tennessee. I didn't even realize how much y'all dislike Memphis till I got to this legislature. Memphis is a part of Tennessee.
Further discussion? Representative Hardaway.
Madam Speaker, I'm probably going to have the meanest comments. You probably want to roll me to the end of the comments.
Representative Parkinson.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm going to say my mean comments right now because I understand that you will probably call a question before we get a chance to really speak on this. But look, let me not mince words. This is the most vile, racist. You can boo all you want, but let's call it for what it is. Boo. You can boo all you want, but let's call it for what it is. Let's have a conversation in truth for once. We just had a legislator that stood up here talking about an education piece that said D's and R's, black and white, don't matter in this house. But it does. If we are sickened by the statutes of a slave owner, it means that we are sickened by the statutes of a slave owner. My ancestors were the slaves, and it makes me sick. But you know what makes me even more sicker? What makes me even more sick is how we look at Nathan Bedford. Ma'am,
amendment, sir.
I'm on the amendment. I'm getting to a point, Madam Speaker. Thank you. What makes me more sick is how this body reveres Nathan Bedford Forrest as if he was God, as if he was an idol, to the point that you make people suffer or remove money from a city, the biggest tax contributor to the state of Tennessee. You remove money from that city because we removed your God from our grounds. And let me tell you this, let me say this last thing. For those members that are from Shelby County that is supporting this, from Shelby County, and you know this money is going into Shelby County, what does that say for you? So I hope that you will really think about what it is you're doing. We can't sit here and keep on claiming to be Christians and vote and act in the manner that we're acting on this House floor. You can be mad at me. Y'all been mad at me all year. I don't care. I got to represent my constituents. That's all. So be mad if you want to be mad. But this is not right. And if you reach into your heart of hearts, into your Christian hearts, you will know and understand that what you are doing is not right and is not Christian-like. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Representative McCormick.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I grew up in Memphis. The earliest memories of my life are in Memphis, and I love Memphis. I was one of the people who helped move Nathan Bedford Forrest out of his little perch over here because I thought it was more appropriate for David Crockett to be there for any number of reasons that were just mentioned, and I think those are some legitimate reasons. However, I think that Memphis, the city of Memphis, like any other city in the nation, needs to, if not obey the law, at least obey the spirit of the law. And the law was very clear. And they got smart lawyers to figure out how to wiggle around the law. And I think that's what the issue is. And I hope that that everyone takes that in the manner in which I'm offering it seriously. The earliest memories of my life are in Memphis. Thank you.
Representative Cassidy.
Move previous question.
Previous question has been called for. Is there objection? There is objection. We're on the board. Those in favor of previous question vote aye when the bell rings. Those opposed.
All right, y'all. All right, y'all. So I want y'all to see that. So yeah. So when I was telling them the truth, they booed me up. So yeah, some of my colleagues were booing because I said that their action was racist, and it absolutely was, and I still stand by that because and I believe in what I was saying, and they know it's the truth. That's why they were booing. You know what? Y'all know the saying: throw a rock into a pack of dogs and what? Yep. And so it's so interesting. It's so interesting that, and y'all hit the share button on this because we need everybody in the city of Memphis to get this video and see this video. You know, and what's interesting is there's not one person that can tell us what law was broken by the city of Memphis when they removed those statutes. So they that damn mad because we removed their God. That's their God. No doubt about it. Anytime you get that hopping mad because we remove a statue of your God from our presence, then, and they get that mad to where they want revenge. But you know what though? But I'm gonna tell you something though. What's really interesting about this? You know how God works. Now how the real God works. Not their God, Nathan Bedford Forrest, but how the real God works. What was meant for our bad, God has turned into our good in a couple of different ways. One is, man, they have awakened a sleeping giant in Memphis. And so I hope that everybody that sees this and hears about this, man, get up and, you know, make sure that you vote. Make sure that you vote in these elections that's going on right now, and especially in those elections that's happening in August and November for your state elections, and clear all of that riffraff out, because there were some from Shelby County that voted to make sure that bill was heard. What's up, Dorinda? Good to see you on there. Yep, there were some, and I'm gonna try to get to some of y'all's questions. And Donna, you're absolutely right. The boos were validation that I was right, but I don't give a damn if they boo. They can boo till their asses fall out. I don't care. You know, that don't bother me. I've been booed by worse. So, you know, but they awakened the sleeping giant. The other thing is this: they've taken away $250,000, took it out of the budget, right? But then the nation, this stuff has gone global. What happened, what y'all just witnessed, has gone global. I've talked to Yahoo News. I've talked to the Washington Post today. I've talked to all kinds of local stations about this. But the world is looking at Tennessee and watching them play themselves and watching them embarrass themselves, you know, and the veil has been ripped away so that people can see what really happens. Oh, ABC too. What's up, Octavius? My intern's on there. ABC. So the people can see what really happens in Tennessee. I've been saying it all along. I've been saying it since I've been elected. I've been saying, man, if y'all only knew what happens up here, man, y'all would be tripping out. Y'all would be tripping out. But it can only happen up here because we have become complacent as a people, and we won't get up and go and vote these people out of office. 3 things that will change our community. I said it earlier. Where's Anya? Is Anya on the live? 3 things only. 3 things. If you want to change our community, first thing is vote. Second thing is direct your money. Third thing is fathers, take care of your children. If we correct just those 3 things, our community will be at the top of the food chain. Just those 3 things. Somebody put that up there. Put that up there on the live for me. Somebody type it in. Vote, number 1. Direct your spending, number 2. Where you spend your money matters. And then the third thing is fathers, take care of your children. If those 3 things are corrected, everything for our communities will change. Somebody put that up there on the live for me. Somebody type that in. Vote, direct your spending, and fathers, take care of your children. Just those 3 things. That needs to go viral. We need t-shirts, hats, you know, Instagram posts, everything. Those are the 3 commandments for the black community. The 3 commandments for the black community. Vote, direct your money together, and take care of your children. Those are the 3 commandments. We do that, everything's going to change. But it's so interesting. So here's the other thing that happened, the blessing that came out of this. One is, again, you know, the veil was ripped away so people can see, you know, what the culture of the Tennessee legislature for what it actually is in the truth, right? Can't hide that. You know, he just sat up there and got there and said, I'm being vindictive. I'm going to do this because they did that. Right now, the second thing that happened, they took $250,000 away, but a GoFundMe has been set up to put that money, and the nation is pouring into their GoFundMe account for Memphis because they see it for what it is. And now, at last check, and I hadn't checked it, so y'all pull it up. I think it's GoFundMe, Memphis City Budget, or whoever has access to the GoFundMe, put the link up there. And this GoFundMe is being supported by the mayor of Memphis, so by the city of Memphis. So we're all y'all make sure y'all hit it and post it and make it go viral. I don't care if you put a nickel in there, but do it so that $250,000 that they call themselves being taken away turn into $1 million that's going into what we're trying to do in our city. So, it's always, what the devil means for bad, it always turns into the good for those who love the Lord. And y'all know that. I ain't no pastor, but don't push me. So here's the other thing I want to talk about. I want to drill down on the thing about Nathan Bedford Forrest. And I had pulled up, I don't know what I did with it, but I had pulled up this deal. And let me tell you why this is important, why this matters, first of all, before I start talking about Nathan Bedford Forrest. Why this matters is because you got to understand that not only are we in, the push and pull politically or political warfare. Hey, Debbie, how you doing? Hey, Peg, how you doing? Peg, if you can, get the link to the GoFundMe and post it on this live for me, if you don't mind, please. So, and y'all, while we're here, go ahead and hit the share button real quick. Hit the share button real quick. Please hit the share button and send me a thumbs up when you've hit the share button, so I can know that it's been shared. We want this to go viral. So, not only are you in political warfare, but you're in psychological warfare too. See, those things matter. Those small things. If you can play or win the psychological war with people, then you will have them fighting for you, if that makes any sense. And that had been done. Slavery, not only was it physical, but it was psychological too. And some of the things that we dealt with in slavery, we're still dealing with as a people to come out of. We still have PTSD from slavery. And we're still dealing with that. So that psychological piece. So when they erect these statues of oppressors to hover over you, that's psychological warfare being played. Also, when they take over your schools and they're responsible for educating your children, that's psychological warfare being played also, because your children's minds are being penetrated and controlled by people that really don't have a vested interest in their success. I want y'all to think about that. What's up, Charlie Caswell? Alan Creasy? Come on, brother. I need you, man. Come on through. Come through, Alan Creasy. Yeah. And Alan, put your district that you're running for up there, man. So everybody know what you're doing too. Yeah. And so you got to get that. So this, hey, Sasha, what's happening, baby? B, what's up, bro? So this Nathan Bedford Forrest, these statues, man, think about how big those statues was. You had to get a crane to move the statues. These statues hovering over this predominantly African American city is psychological warfare. So yeah, I know, we're not monolithic, so we all have our own views on some of these things, right? And I know that there were some that thought the statues didn't matter. I don't give a damn about a statue. Yes, I understand that. And I'm not knocking anybody for how they felt, about the statues or what the priority was about the statues. My thing is, anything that affects us, whether psychological, financially, socially, education-wise, that affects us negatively, I'm going to fight. But I get the psychological game because I'm in the marketing business. And I understand, hey, Pam, I understand the games and the reasons why, people, or entities try to brand, but they brand culture also. You got to understand that, there's stuff that we call, what's the word for it? Propaganda. Sometimes you get stuff programmed in you that you don't even realize is being programmed in you. What's up, Theron? What's up, Richie? that you get stuff programmed in you that you don't even realize is being programmed in you. And so when you see these statues and these monuments and these reminders of the oppression, you can become desensitized to it and think that it's not a big deal, but it is a big deal because we're still paying for it. We're still paying for it today. And so when it comes to these statues, you're damn right, man. I'm gonna fight it tooth and nail. And I promise y'all, man, I don't give a damn, what they think if anybody's mad at me for speaking the truth. What's up, Angelo, Jonathan, Corey? What's happening, Corey? What's up, brother? Yeah, for speaking the truth, and I'm going to continue to speak the truth. And so here's the deal. Let me tell you why this matters. Why this matters. Who Nathan Bedford Forrest really was. And they got all of this, man. If y'all see, man, I received an email today, man. I had to tell my assistant. I had to stop from sending them back a nasty, nasty, nasty response to their email. This guy, he's such a coward. And so I hope he's on the live so he can listen to. He's such a coward. I can't stand cowards. He's such a coward that he sends an email. What's up, Steve? He sends an email without a return email address on it. And then tries to put some crap in there that will say, how Christian Nathan Bedford Forrest was. Man, Nathan Bedford Forrest can go to hell, where he probably is in hell. Nathan Bedford Forrest was the I think probably the worst individual that America has ever produced. The worst. Wait a minute, what you say? Wait, hold on, let me come back to that. Richard said the booze were not a negative. Now we know what we're doing. Oh, that's why I said, man, hey, Richard, you hit the nail on the head. It validated everything that I was saying. What you say, Carmen? First of all, Democrats are outnumbered by Republicans. Some of the Republicans and one Senator, Reginald Tate, are voting for, okay. And on several issues that, wait a minute, dang, what did I do? On several issues that does not help Shelby County constituents. What about the Nathan Bedford Forrest campgrounds named that? Yeah, that's how deeply, I told you that's their God. Yeah, there's Nathan Bedford Forrest State Park in Tennessee. Change that name. That's right. So you're absolutely right, Carmen. Absolutely right. Absolutely right on target. What's up, Christy? Good to see you. Good to see you on there. So look, so Nathan Bedford Forrest to me was the worst individual that has ever been produced on American soil to me. And let me qualify that. Nathan Bedford Forrest made millions of dollars on the slave trade. He became a general in the Confederate Army because it was threatening. Think about it. It was, thank you, Dwayne. Thank you, brother. It was threatening. Hey, Daisy. It was threatening his economy. He made millions. His money came from selling human beings to other human beings for whatever they wanted to do with those human beings. And I'm not just making it up because I read Nathan Bedford Forrest's flyers, his advertisement, which intrigued me. I'm in marketing, advertisement, PR, media relations. What's up, Jets? Hey, Tamika. I read his flyer, and his flyer said, and it's from Forrest and Maples. That's the name of his company. That was the name of his company. And it said, young, black, or young, strong Negroes for sale. Some of these Negroes were mechanics. Some were field Negroes. Some were house Negroes. But here's the catch. Here's what really sickens me about him. He also sold young black girls to adult white men as body servants. So I'm going to let that marinate for a second. Young black girls to grown white men as body servants. Body servants. So he was a pedophile too. Body servants. Think about that. What does that mean, body servants? Think about that. And think about this. Here's the other thing about Nathan Bedford Forrest. He was a general He was a general in an army that tried to overthrow the United States government. A general in the army that tried to overthrow the United States government. Now watch this. Watch this. If there was someone of Middle Eastern descent right now that made an attempt to overthrow the United States government, there's no way in hell they would erect a statue to them, nor would they allow them to fly their flags on the back of their pickup trucks. Think about that. And you're absolutely right, Yvette Jones, sex slaves. Anthony, thanks for joining us. There's no way in hell that they would be allowed to fly the flags of a let's say a terrorist cell, because that's what they were. They were terrorists of a terrorist cell on the back of a pickup truck and ride around here talking about some woohoo yahoo. And here's the killer part. This is the crazy part. This is why, and I'm trying to see how I want to say this. This is why, what's up, April? This is why, Sherburne, what's happening? Kim, what's happening? This is why okay, there's some concern for me. There's some concern for me for those individuals that do ride around with, you know, the Confederate flags on the back of their vehicles, and, you know, and they're at war, according to them, against, you know, black folks, Mexicans, you know, Latino people, and this, that, and other. And because they say, you know, states' rights, and I'm about to say it correctly, states' rights and others, their family members were part of the Confederate Army, and, you know, they died. Yes, 725,000 Confederate soldiers died in that war, in the Civil War. Yes. And, you know, and then there are some that say the Civil War, you know, ended in 1865, but I'm not so sure that the Civil War actually ever ended. What's up, Teresa? Thank you for joining us. And and here's my concern for them. Here's my concern for them. And watch this. And I need y'all to get this. What's up, Raquel? Hey, niece, what's happening? Glad you made it on live. So look, only 10% now. Not much has changed. Only 10% of the white Southern population, in fact, not even 10%, just 10% of white males owned slaves in the South during slavery. Okay? Y'all follow me now. What's up, Eric? So 10% of the white male population were slave owners. All right? 10%. So that means the other 90% of the population was either working or white poor people, right? Now, when the war started, they had to pull these poor white kids into fighting for the Confederate Army. They did it through draft or they did it through force. There were laws that were passed in the Confederate states of America because they had created their own government. What's up, Verlene? What's up, Christopher? What's up, Melody? There were laws that were passed that would keep the rich folks' kids from having to fight in the Confederate Army. So now you got all of the poor white folks, white males, fighting, and some slaves were forced into fighting for the South. What's up, Andrew? And so they're the ones that's fighting the war now for the Confederates, right? So, but I want you to think about this. They were either forced into it through draft, or they were either talked into it, you know, for whatever reason, or some felt a duty to go and fight in this army, right? In the Confederate Army. 775,000 people got killed. What's up, Shanteria? 775,000 people got killed in this army. Now, watch this though. So now you got these poor white folks that are fighting in the Confederate Army, right? Fighting to keep slavery intact, right? But think about this. They were fighting to keep slavery intact when in fact it was slavery or the free labor that kept the poor white folks from getting the jobs on the plantations for $1 a day. Think about that. Just think about what's happening here. Because I'm trying to get y'all to see the whole chessboard. What's up, Mike? I'm trying to get y'all to see the whole chessboard. What's up, Sandra? So you got the rich, elite people of the South that have talked the poor people of the South into fighting for their cause when there was no benefit to the poor people of the South. The only benefit was to that 10%, rich folks that owned the slaves. So now, that whole mindset has carried on into today. The descendants of the poor white folks that fought in the Confederate Army are the folks that have issue with the poor black folks, or the Hispanic folks, or the Mexican folks, like they're going to take something away from them. No, they're not going to take anything away from you. You already ain't got, and neither do they. So you got these clashes of cultures that are happening that started from way back when. And a lot of people don't even know why they're fighting each other. And it all starts with rich folks using poor folks to fight their fight on the ground so they can continue their way of life while poor folks continue to stay poor. I want y'all to think about that for a second. That's the truth. That's the truth. And none of them are the wiser. That's the sad part. They don't even know what they're fighting for. Poor white folks with their Confederate flags on the back of their trucks don't know why they hate us. They just know they hate us. Because someone told them you need to hate them because they're going to take something away from you. Take what away from you? You ain't got shit. Excuse my language, y'all. You ain't got nothing. And what can the Confederate flag carrying white person take from poor black folks? We ain't got nothing. Y'all help me with this. So that's why, man, when we all finally get and understand that, you know, this is the game, you know, that you're being used as a pawn, you know, them on this side, these on this side, you're being used as a pawn to continue the lifestyle of a bunch of rich folks. I'm telling you, I keep on saying this, there is profit in poverty. And those poor white folks that got the flags on the back of the trucks and this, that, and other, they're the same folks that go through the same thing, went through the same exact thing as I did. They're the same folks that enlist in the military because they wanted a better way of life. That's what I did. They're the same folks whose parents are missing, or fathers are out of the house because they're either in prison or something, just like us. They're the same folks who got bad education in their communities because they ain't putting no money in their schools, just like us. They're the same folks whose neighborhoods and communities are being ravaged by drugs because you know, whether it's meth or whether it's crack on this side, just like us. But somebody told them that they was just a hair better than the black folks. And that's where they've been empowered. But they still 30 cents away from having a quarter just like everybody else. What's up, Berlon? What's up, Robin? And so people need to get that, man. And when we get that, we'll start understanding that the commonalities is what binds us. But all sides need to see it, and all sides need to understand the game. All sides need to understand the game. You're a devil dog, simplify, baby. Simplify. Victor, what's happening? All sides need to understand the game. When you understand the game, you know how to play the game. All sides need to make sure that they have people that represent them and understand that, make sure that their people are representing them and not another entity that they're being controlled by. All right, y'all. I think I done covered everything. I think I done said enough. So now y'all know why I got booed up or how I got booed up on the House floor. And now y'all understand, hopefully y'all understand why, you know, we're fighting this fight, and hopefully y'all can get people. So when you run into that person, you know, that's pushing, hey, what's up, Daryl? What's happening, man? That seems like they're on the other side. Maybe you can explain to them, you know, what are you fighting me for? What is, you know, the issue is not with me. The issue is with those people that sent your folks into war. The issue is with those people that talked or duped you into fighting for your ancestors into fighting for the Confederacy. They're the same people that shipped our ancestors over here. That you know, maybe you can explain that to them, because a lot of people, they just don't know. A lot of people just don't know, and it's sad. But you know, that's where the win is in America. When you keep the people, I mean, you know, they wanted the slaves to be uneducated for a reason, just like they want the poor white folks to be uneducated for a reason. There's a reason for it. It's not by happenstance. It's not by circumstance. It's purposeful. Because when you have an ignorant community, and when I'm not using ignorant as a word to demean someone, but I mean ignorance from the lack of knowledge, from understanding, you know, understanding how all this stuff works and understanding what the history has really been, you'll get it. You get it. You know, you got folks revering Nathan Bedford Forrest, but Nathan Bedford Forrest was a selfish a-hole. He was only doing it and fighting and leading poor white folks into slaughter because he wanted to protect his $1 million that he was making off the slave trade, which then took jobs away from the poor white folks. Come on, man. Understand the game.